if I could,
or
like,
bass. We can go bass
adequately
since you play bass.
Oh, the bass, Tommy the Cat. It's just so wild that no one really knows if it's genius or if it's just bad.
Tommy the Cat is by Primus. It is a phenomenal song if you like bass.
It's just wild.
It's very, very good.
Or Addicted to That Rush by Mr. Big, because just when it comes in, the tapping, I'm like, that's it, it's over. But the guitar, it's like, that's hard, because there's like good songs where the guitar stands out a lot, and then songs where it's there but it's just so good. I like The Ocean by Zeppelin, okay, because it kind of kicks in and it's like and it's just like gorgeous, and I could listen to it for hours. So that guitar riff for sure.
I think that's good. Well, and it's you've got some different, what I like about it is you can still appreciate it even though if you can't play it.
Oh,
and that's where I think it is just trying, as you're diving into your interest, it could be something that you either want to learn to do yourself, or it could just be something that you appreciate the beauty and the skill that's required behind it. All right. So aside from music, and we've got a bunch of questions rolling in music because we got a lot of music fans watching, which I love. And Mitch, we'll get to a couple of those in a minute. But what other, let's talk about space for a minute, because I think, and this will lead it, I'm going to ask you a different question. What's interesting is all of your hobbies are very different. And that's what I think for
I'm pretty much all over the place.
You're all over the board, in a good way. And I think that's really cool for a teenager. And for anybody, honestly, because I got challenged one time by one of my shrinks, asking me about my hobbies. And I'm like, I don't really have any. Like every hobby I had, it seemed like it was something you were into or one of your sisters. And I kind of just followed along with that hobby. So I love the fact that you've been able to cultivate it. But I think it goes to your influences and your role models. So, because these are all across the board. So tell me your three or four biggest influences, because I think you guys, and I think I know who she's going to pick, but I think this will kind of show how you can have interests in different areas, which I think is cool. So who are your biggest influences?
Okay, I'm going to go by category. So do you want to hear comedy, music, or space first?
You pick it there, Sweet Pea.
Okay, I'll go space first.
Okay.
Commander Pete Conrad. He was the commander of Apollo 12, my favorite space mission, just because why not?
Because we of course
Dave
always
Foley
have
from Kids in the Hall played him in From the Earth to the Moon. Anyway, so Pete Conrad, he was known for, he sadly passed away. He was known for his colorful language, and he was always like very out there, and he like didn't really care at
colorful language, like the cussing.
Oh, a lot of the cussing.
Is this where you get the cussing from?
No.
Because your sister ratted you out and said, Mia cusses a lot.
Yeah, I just don't do it around you so I don't get in trouble. Thank you. Anyway, Pete Conrad. I love him because he's just like, he doesn't really care about like what other people think of him. And he's like this great mind. But
I like the fact he doesn't care what other people think. I think that's a great trait to have.
Yeah. And I mean, he was a test pilot, so he really
let
go of a lot of things. But when a astronaut passes away, I think it's in Houston, they get a tree with lights on it, and they're usually all white. Like there's a field of all the white like lights on trees. And there's one little tree that has colorful lights, like Christmas lights. And it's Pete Conrad's tree. And it's my favorite thing in the world because they like acknowledge the fact that he was different from everybody else. And I'm very excited about it. And then when it comes to music.
All right, stay on space for a minute because we had a couple questions come in.
Okay.
What do you think about Elon Musk and Mars?
I just wrote an essay for Lit about Elon Musk and Mars. Elon, I mean, kudos to him for being like having no money and then being like one of the biggest people in the world. But like, and I think I might like piss off a few people, but I think colonization of Mars would be awesome. It would be because the Earth, given what is happening to it and everybody
going crazy,
everybody's like kind of destroying it. There's a certain point where there's like a point of no return for Earth. And we could use experiments and things on Mars to figure out how to do it. Because we have to grow stuff on Mars. And when Earth is like in its decline, knowing how to grow stuff on Mars, that's a very, like, you can't do that. it would be helpful here. So there's like benefits to it. And I think that Elon taking the steps to do it is very important. And I'm totally on board with it, as I wrote in my literature essay.
Okay. Like it.
Yep.
All right. So that's the space.
Music. Okay. This is very like cliche, but I admire Paul McCartney, but hear me out. Not just because he's like a Beatle and like a billionaire and he like is the biggest dude in music, but like I was listening to the Smartless podcast with Jason Bateman and Will Arnett and Sean Hayes. And they always bring on a guest every week that the other two don't know about. One week, Sean brought on Paul McCartney. And of course, they're all like gobsmacked because it's Paul freaking McCartney. But he was talking about how Paul separates himself as like the Paul McCartney that everybody knows as the Beatle, like the biggest, like the dude ever, to just Paul. Like he knows people, like he knows when he meets people, they know who he is. And he separates that in his like interests and stuff. He's like a nice family man. He doesn't take pictures with people. Like he's just a normal human being. And I like how he can separate that and he still like lives his life as he normally would without all the fame.
I think that's cool.
No, yeah, I thought it was awesome.
Very cool. I didn't know that about him because I know Paul. He's Paul.
Yeah, and he knows when he meets someone that he's gonna like change their life forever. Like he acknowledges that and how he's in the top of the world.
Yeah,
and so he like separates himself to just a normal person.
He did. I saw him on tour probably like, I think we saw him like 5 or 6 times back in, I believe it was 93-ish when it was phenomenal. But you're right. It is kind of larger than live.
Yeah.
So is that what, and he's a bass player.
He is.
So you did have another question come in from April. She said, that said she saw that you, or read that you made your own guitar or your own bass. How hard and or rewarding was it, that experience? So talk about what you did with making your Deaky bass.
So I saw the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, and I was originally going to see Creed 2, but then everybody was like, no, we're going to watch Bo Rap. And I was like, okay, fine. I guess I'll watch it. And then I saw this dorky guy who played John Deacon, the bass player of Queen. And I was like,
did you feel a soul connection?
I was
with
like,
kid?
That's me. That's my, I'm dorky. I'm kind of quiet when around people. So I was like, that's me. So I was like, John Deacon, he's the best. Like, yes. And then I got into all the classic rock more than I have been before. And then I started playing the bass because my dad can play the bass like crazy well. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll learn because I have a great teacher and I'll be able to do it. And then for my birthday, I got a custom thing and I was like, I'm putting Deke's face on the pick guard. And Dad was like, bet. So we did it. And then, so that's my Bismillah bass.
I like it. It was fun because you
awesome.
did very much get into Queen after that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And you were forced to see it. See, you would have been into Creed.
I was about to see like Creed. I bet it was a fine movie, but like
you would have missed out.
I would have missed on everything that I've like
so it's
come to
interesting
love from
though,
that.
like right. So like one little decision, which movie theater you walked into, if you pay attention to the clues, can really spark something different.
Yeah. I was like, I would have never gotten into, like, I liked classic rock and everything before that, just because my parents' background. But like, I wouldn't have gotten into it. I wouldn't have played bass, like gotten into playing bass and all the old stuff. And then I was, but having seen Bo Rap, it got me in all of that, which I'm eternally grateful for.
I know. I like, but it's one of, and this is why we all need to pay attention, like the little things that spark an interest going down that path, allowing yourself to go down that path. Because like you said, you saw it, and then you do. We've seen Bo Rap like 50 times.
I know all the words to it.
We know all 3 of my kids know every song to Bo Rap. They know every song to Hamilton too. So it's whatever strikes an interest. There's a lot of singing going on at our house. Unfortunately, I am the only one that lacks talent. Not the only one.
Lack talent, Mom. It's just talent in another field.
Yes.
Don't put yourself down.
Thanks there, sweetie pea.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate.